Good morning and welcome back to 7 Live with Joyce Taylor.
And good morning. It's now 8 o'clock. You're watching 7 Live, of course. The company is known around the country for its great gourmet coffee, but now a grassroots campaign is rising against Starbucks, claiming the coffee maker gives poor customer service. We're going to take you live to San Francisco to hear from the man who's causing all this controversy. Well, now let's talk about Starbucks. Of course, it's synonymous with Seattle coffee, but there is a controversy brewing over their customer service. A California man is so upset with the Northwest company that he has taken the dispute into his own hands now. You may, in fact, have seen a series of ads that he took out in the Wall Street Journal complaining about the coffee giant. In fact, he spent more than $10,000 to find out if anyone else was as mad as he is. And right now, Jeremy Dorison, the San Francisco businessman, joins us live from the Bay Area this morning. And good morning to you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. The question is, how are you? You're pretty upset.
Well, yeah, I'm a little more resolved now than upset, but I think it's fair to say I'm upset.
So this has to do with a couple of coffee makers you bought, one for a gift, one for yourself. Something wasn't working right, you brought them back, and then you didn't like what happened.
Well, that's only really part of it. I can go into the details if you'd like.
Well, we have limited time.
Okay. I bought the two machines, and the first one I bought and it broke, and I brought it back, and they gave me a replacement loaner. And when I came in to pick up my new one, I asked them what they were going to do with the loaner. They said send it back, but I liked that model so much I came back to purchase that loaner model new as a wedding gift, and I reserved it and then came to pick it up. And they couldn't find the one that I had my name on the box, and they brought out one that was a damaged box. And I asked them to I said that didn't look like the right one. I asked them if they could check that. She took it out, she inspected it, she said this is fine. So I went up to the point of sale, I purchased it, and asked them for the half pound of coffee that they customarily give you when you purchase a machine. The guy said, no, you're not getting any. I said, why is that? He says, we don't do that. I said, well, I think you do that, but I'm not going to argue with you. Could you get me a cappuccino? And he said, yeah, I'm not going to give you that either. You're getting nothing. So I left. I went to the wedding. I called the manager, and I told him what happened. He apologized, said, come and get the cup of coffee. The guy must have been a new guy. He says, well, he's not a new guy. Anyway, the bride opened the gift, and there was no manual in it. So when I went to pick up the coffee, I asked him if he could find the manual, and he did. I went home. I get a call from the bride. She says she's assembling the machine. There's rust in it and a part missing. She called Starbucks about the missing part, which is a plastic part that goes onto the part where you make your foam.
Basically, though, you took both of the machines back because yours wasn't working right, and hers apparently wasn't working right, or parts were missing, or the manual was missing. And you wanted Starbucks to replace both of the machines with hers with a much nicer machine, correct?
Right.
And yours with a new and better machine than you had originally purchased. And they said no.
Right.
Because, for example, their most expensive machine is like $2,000 or something.
Right, and they told me that. I said at first, look, this woman has just recovered from cancer. This was supposed to be a really special gift. And I was very humiliated and embarrassed, especially after I bought so many things from you and gave my business to you. And now I feel that as a result of the mistreatment in the store, the machines that have broken down, and the one that they just gave me back had broken again for a second time. So I said, send her a letter of apology, give her the nicest machine that you have, and replace mine. And they said, well, the nicest machine that we have is $2,500 or $2,250, whatever it was. We're not going to do that. And I thought about that, and that sounded a little excessive. So I said, okay, what's the next one down? They said, that's $450. I says, okay, how about that? Send that to her. And then they said, no, look, this is what we'll do. We'll send you a machine. We'll take your $299 machine back, give you one for $269, and give her one for $269 to replace the one that retails at $189.
Well, bottom line is they said, no, we're not going to do that. And you took out these ads in the Wall Street Journal soliciting other people who might have been unhappy with Starbucks service to send you letters or call you. And you're threatening now to even publish some of those responses. There's no way for us to confirm how many responses you got, but why don't you tell us what's been the reaction and what do you want them to do about it?
Well, what I'd like them to do at this point is sit down with me. I think that we both have a beef. I think the best thing to do is sit down in the least threatening situation possible with neither of us making any demands of what we're going to do or what we're not going to do, and sit down and talk about it, because I don't feel that they're sorry. I have a receipt here which gives a tracking number for the first certified letter that I got from them, the first response, which was 3 days after May 10th. It was May 13th, which was 3 days after my second ad was placed. Then they're apologizing and sending gifts to the bride, which they had never mentioned before. And I felt that was obviously only as a result of me placing the ads. They weren't willing to do anything like giving her free gifts or anything like that before. And it only came after my second ad. So my feeling was that they were in fact very sorry, but what they were sorry for was that I had taken it so far, not for what they had done.
Why have you taken it so far? Why have you taken it to the Wall Street Journal, and how many responses did you get from that ad?
Right. I took it to the Wall Street Journal because I didn't feel that suing them was going to be any good to me. I mean, they make so many millions a year. Their lawyers versus my lawyer, that wasn't going to work out at all. And I didn't want to confuse the issue with money, because I felt that I wanted to keep that out of it. The issue isn't money, it's human decency and morality and how they treat their customers.
And how many customers responded to your ad?
Thousands. Probably around 3,000 calls on the 800 number and on the 510-939-3483 number, as well as faxes and letters. Most of the people were curious that had called off the Wall Street Journal. Other people had already heard the story and wanted to know more. Some were customers. A good portion of them were customers that had had bad experiences with them and that were furious. A lot of them were their competitors with certain allegations about what they were doing, which I told them I felt sympathetic towards, but I couldn't get involved with that.
Jeremy? We have a representative from Starbucks here. I'm going to ask you to hang on for a minute.
Okay.
Because I'd like for her to respond to some of the things you said. And I'd also ask that you not interrupt just for a minute, if you can hang on.
I'll do that.
Okay? It might be hard because I know you're right in the heat of the battle with Starbucks. But we have with us now Barbara Reed.
Hi,
you work with public relations with Starbucks.
Yes, I do.
This seems to have started out as a customer complaint. They wanted to replace their coffee machine, which it sounds like Starbucks was willing to do with the machine of equal value, or maybe he says a little bit less value. And it has really blown into this national Wall Street Journal, write me with your complaints, replace it with a $1,000 machine or whatever. What is your reaction to all of this?
Well, we're a little confused, to be honest.
Confused about what?
Why it has come to this point, and why the offers that we made to Jeremy and genuine apology to him were not taken. We sent him letters of apology that were refused. We offered to replace his machine and her machine with a machine that was greater value than her machine, $30 less value than his. But what Jeremy leaves out is that we also were going to refund him $30 as well, and coffee gifts. It's not unlike how we treat every customer that's dissatisfied.
And that was unacceptable to him. What is your take on what exactly he wants from Starbucks?
The demands have changed and the requests have changed all along, so I'm really not sure. At first it was, do what I want you to do in 4 hours or I'll place an ad.
Do you feel like he's holding Starbucks head over a barrel kind of thing? Do you feel like it's threatening or ultimatums? Or
I mean, ultimatums, yes, but the most frustrating thing about it is that any customer that ever calls us, writes to us, comes to see us, whether it's in our stores or whether it's with me or with anybody else in the company, why would we not want to take care of them is my question. I mean, that's what we pride ourselves on, is our coffee and the way we treat people.
What about your response to his claim that some 3,000 people have responded to this Wall Street Journal ad?
That may be true. Now, how they responded, and Jeremy says a lot of them, because they were curious, I'm sure there's people out there that have had a bad experience. And what I'd really like to have happen is for them to contact us, call us, fill out one of our comment cards that's in every single store that we have. We read every single one. We respond to every single comment card that comes into the company. We want to hear about that. We're human. We make mistakes. We're willing to admit it when we do, but we want to hear from our customers. That's how we learn. That's how we do the things that we know our customers want us to do. So,
Jeremy?
Yes.
A final comment from you. What would make you happy? What do you want Starbucks to do to resolve this?
That would be a two-phase thing. One is I would like a very lucid explanation of how they would expect me or anybody to accept an apology of sincerity and of genuineness that came only as a result of having placed 2 ads rather expensive in the Wall Street Journal. They can't possibly expect for me to consider that sincere only as a result of having gotten those things 3 days after the ads. And the other thing, what I would like to do is I would like to get away from a threatening atmosphere, sit down at a table with a finely prepared meal, and discuss with them what I think is important and hear from them what they would like to do and how we can come to a positive resolution on this that's equitable to both of us.
Okay, Jeremy, we're almost out of time on our satellite window with you. Hang tight just for a second.
All right.
And your reaction to that, sit down over a fine meal, work it out.
The conversation's still open. We're still willing to speak to Jeremy. I just would like to understand why everything we've done so far he's not accepting. I still don't understand.
Well, Jeremy Dorison, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it, and good luck.
Thanks, Joyce.
We appreciate you joining us also.
I appreciate you giving us a chance.
This is one of those public relations nightmares, it sounds like. Yeah. Let us know how it turns out.
We will.
We want to know.
Thank you.
Thanks. Phil?